forget, forgive because of our own soul's peace, then we are not victims of any circumstances. When we lose somebody, we lose our parents, because that's what I want to talk about. Parents. We're not here just by coincidence. No, we're not. There is a purpose. And sometimes your life purpose is that you just have to experience life. Hi, this is Ash from the closet. Today's topic is about forgiving, and it's about your self-empowerment, as all my other episodes are about. It's about self-empowerment, because it's time for us to wake up and realize that we are so powerful and that we are the actual influencers and controllers of our own lives. We are the true masters of our own lives. Whether we like it or not, we have fully responsibility. But in order to be powerful in that position and to acknowledge that we are the creators of our own lives, we have to wake up. We have to be a little more awakened than last year and the year before. Sometimes I actually listen to music from the 80s and I think, this is from the old world. It's not just old school, but it's from the old world. And what does that mean? Has things changed? Where are we compared to where we were back in the 80s? It's just a weird thought, but in my heart and in my whole system, in my body, I know that I am a different person, not just from experience and growing up and being an adult and living life, but somehow in the vibration, everything is different. And we don't become more awakened and more conscious as we grow older. We don't. We all know that idiot living next door on your road, an elderly person who never grew up and is always acting out like a child, and who never awoken and became conscious. So that vibration might still be very slow, and that person we know from work or from down the road or next door neighbors or wherever, sometimes also in our family, that person vibrates so low, very slow, and we feel so different. I'm not saying that one is better than another. It's just an observation. And I can observe from myself that somehow I must have gained a higher frequency by creation. It can only be by creation because it's from life experience. Of course it is. But sometimes life experience doesn't teach us anything. We just continue. We just repeat the same patterns, the same thought systems, and we don't change. So life experience doesn't mean that we are changing. But if we wake up and we are being conscious and we want to stay awake and also alert, because we are so distracted all the time, and when we are distracted, we forget about our life mission. We forget why we're here. And we're not here just by coincidence. No, we're not. There is a purpose. And sometimes your life purpose is that you just have to experience life, live life. That's it. That's it. There's no more chasing the purpose of my life, the meaning of my life. Because the meaning and the purpose is that you are here to experience. You have an opportunity through experiences to grow spiritually and personally. And you have an opportunity to be awakened and to realize that you are so much more than just that person like me, Ash, living a lifetime here on earth. A one-time lifetime. Regardless what I believe in. But I'm just her in this reality. And now I'm not going to go into multiverses and things like this. I'm just going to stick to this reality here. Think about it. Think about it. We all know the people who are not awakened, don't we? We all know the people who are being negative and who are having the same thought pattern as they have had for all the years we have known them, right? Or months or weeks. They are the same. They don't like to change. They don't like changes. They want to stay in their comfort zone. And that's perfectly fine. Nobody's judging. But it means, definitely, it means then you cannot grow. You cannot grow when you stay in your comfort zone. No, you cannot grow when you stay in your comfort zone. One of the things you can really grow spiritually and personally from is letting go and forgive. You don't have to forgive for anybody else than for your own soul's rest. When we lose somebody, we lose our parents, because that's what I want to talk about. Parents. I want to talk about forgetting and forgiving. And forgetting when we lose our parents is a good help to change our belief systems here, so we can forget what they have done to us. We might not forget the episodes, but we are able to surf another wave and allow ourselves to forget how painful it was, whatever happened in the childhood or in the youth. We allow ourselves to forget it. We remember the episodes, but we allow ourselves to change as a person, to change our vibration, so we can forget about the pain. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, does it? Because we cannot forget the pain, can we? Yes, we can. We can. Yes, we can, because I compare it to giving birth. Yeah, to giving birth. When you give birth to your second child, you suddenly remember, oh, I forgot how much pain it is to give birth. I totally forgot how bad it was last time. Why am I doing it again? Because something in my system, in order to have more children and to follow my evolution as a woman, as a mother, and that was my choice. Not everybody is having children, and it doesn't mean that they're not a part of the evolution. Of course they are. But when we have that calling that you want so much to be pregnant, and you want so much to have a child and have a family and give life, that's like a calling. A biological clock is ticking, and you are acting on that, and you cannot help it. You just want to have a child. That's like a calling. So here we are, giving birth on the second child, and it's just as painful, or even worse, or maybe a little worse than last time. But it's like, how could I forget? A lot of us as mothers, we thought that on the second child. Even me on the third, fourth, fifth, sixth child. I was like, how could I forget? But we do. We do in order to survive. Yeah, we do that because it's so traumatizing. It was integrated as a part of being a mother in our cells, in our psychological, emotional state. It was integrated and installed as a natural thing in our body, in our system, in our mind, in our existence. So of course we forgot, so we can give birth again. Yeah, it makes sense when I compare it to giving birth, because whatever happened in your childhood with your parents who might not longer be here, you can forget about the pain. Remember the episodes. That's a part of your history. But remember again, it's not who you are. It's not who you are. It does not define you. And being a mother doesn't only define me as a mother. And being a child of your parents doesn't only define you as a child of your parents. You are so much more. Way, way more. As I am so much more, and you are so much more if you have children, as mothers. We are bigger than that. And in that comparison, I can tell you, of course you can forget the pain. Because you are the creator of your life. So you actually decide, am I going to surf that wave of being a victim and still being sad and traumatized and upset when I think about certain situations from my parents and my childhood that I have experienced? I am the manifester. You are the manifester. So no, we don't have to be victimized. We can just forget about it and continue life. That was an experience. We can forget it in the sense that we integrate it, accept that it happened, and accept that it doesn't define who we are. It was an experience, just as hard as it was. It was an experience. But it's not who we are. It's not who you are. Am I losing you? Think about it. Think about it. It's not who you are. So put that aside and walk with me now in that forgiving ocean of emotions where we surf and ride another wave. Oh, it's fascinating to know that if you can forgive people from their lack of knowledge as being parents or acting in the right way to children as we were when we were little, we can acknowledge them as persons and honor them as the people they were. No matter what they did to us, they didn't know any better. They might have been victims themselves of circumstances. They might not have known how to be a parent in the right way in that certain situation you might remember, or situations. But hey, stop it. Stop it. Step out of the victim zone. Close your eyes. Think about your parents or one particular parent as just a person. Just imagine that there is like a brick wall in front of that person, and you can actually somehow see through the brick wall as you have your eyes closed. It's like transparent bricks, see-through bricks. And that person or persons are behind the bricks. You might remember episodes that didn't really fit you, that didn't really suit you, or that have traumatized you in one way or another. I want you to take a brick out of the wall. And now you see through the brick, you clearly see the persons. You remove another brick. And suddenly there's an opening. And just be the observer for a moment. So what do you see? You see two people, two human beings who did whatever they were capable of. Regardless their story. Don't mind their story. Don't mind if they had drinking or drug problems. Don't mind anything. You don't care about their story. You just look at those two people as an observer. What you're watching is two people. That's two persons, two human beings. And they have done whatever they were capable of. Look at them with love. Think about them with love. Not from the victim state, but from the creative state, the observer, the powerful you. Yeah, the powerful you. And know, I repeat, and know that you, in that period you are living now, in this time, years after when you were a child, you can do better. You are way better than they were. You are more aware. You are more conscious. You're listening to my podcast. There must be a reason. And that means that you are more awakened. And it's not a matter of I'm better than you attitude. No, it's just a fact. You are more awakened. You have a chance to do it better. So if you are a parent, you can do better with your own children. If you don't have children, you can do better with your friends and chosen family and the people around you who you have picked to be your family. If you still have your parents, just forgive them. Forgive them. You cannot change them if they're still living. You can change you and how you react to their patterns of thoughts and behaviors. Maybe false belief systems, maybe religion, cultural things that you don't really agree with. But you can look at them through the torn down brick wall where you removed the transparent bricks and look at them with love, not from the victim zone, but from the power zone. You being powerful as you are. Powerful. If they don't live any longer, like my father and my godmother, who was my mom number 2, and my mother, who still lives brain damaged on her 10th year in a nursing home where she's more or less like a vegetable, I can look at my deceased father from my inner view with my eyes closed. And I can say, I just honor you. Thank you for giving life to me. Thank you for being my father. And to my mother, whether she's living or not here anymore, your mother, give her a thought, thanking her in honor that she actually gave you life. They were, regardless how it happened, how they acted, how they did their parenting, they were the creators of you. They made you. They created a child and they gave you life. I think that if we can honor that and forget about our story and history and traumas from childhood or our youth, if we can forget, forgive because of our own soul's peace and mind, and we can actually just let go, then we are not victims of any circumstances. Then we allow in our forgetfulness to have this traumas or hardship or whatever we have in our backpack being integrated in our system, in our physical and emotional layer, in our system, in our body. It gives peace at mind. It frees you. There's lots of sorrows we don't have to carry on to any longer or hold on to. We can let go. But are we willing to do that? Or do we want to be victimized and blaming and still be that inner child that screams for attention and screams out in pain. Why didn't you see me? Why did you? Why have you? Why could you? No, that's devastating. That's holding you down to the old earth. Very, very low vibration. And we don't want to be that, do we? No, we want to be the manifestors, right? The creators of our lives. We actually do want a happy life, regardless where we're coming from, don't we? So listen again. Forget means integrated in your system as a story, your history, but not who you are. And forgive, they didn't know any better. They gave it a shot. And you're not a victim of that circumstances. So you can forgive. It gives you peace at mind. And you can go, yeah, whatever. I'm going to surf another wave so I can be the creator of my life and create happiness and good memories. That's what we thrive from. We grow from good memories. We don't just grow from tragedy and sorrow. No, we also grow from memories of happiness. Yeah, that's who we are. So wake up, forget, forgive, and create. Wake up.